told those guys in there that it didn't have to be like this. And I've been fortunate enough to be in a lot of situations where, you know, you go into a game and you're better than somebody, and the game comes out probably like it should, but it doesn't always go that way from the get-go. And I think what we're starting to see is a little maturity in what we're doing. So these guys take things seriously, the respect, just like last week, the respect for the rivalry. This week, the respect for their team that they played, their opponent, and the way they prepared, the way they came out to start the game. You know, I say, hey, we're going to continue to be aggressive, continue to do the things that we're going to do, and we're not going to take anything for granted. And, you know, you preach and preach and preach that, but you don't always, you know, you don't always get it in return. And I think tonight we took a step, and I don't just mean because of the score of the game, the situation, but our ability to come out fast, continue to grow in the things we're doing. We took a step maturity-wise and leadership-wise throughout the entire week. So that's probably what I'm most excited about.
You broke out Luke Fickell tonight.
Well, the first couple games didn't lend itself for a lot of those opportunities. And I know it didn't quite look like, you know, in the first couple games that you were going to be able to throw the ball and, hey, can Dez really throw the ball, or can your offense move the ball? But we've had confidence in it. We've seen it throughout fall camp. Just hasn't quite brought it to, you know, to the game. And I mean that in the sense of that wasn't the plan of how UCLA went. It kind of continued to roll that way, and then obviously last week with the weather. But we want to be a balanced team. We want to be able to take some shots and loosen some things up down the field. But we also want to be able to put a lot of pressure on our front guys, our defensive front, our offensive front, and how we run the ball and how we stop the run.
Two young running backs got the bulk of the load. Are you happy with two freshmen?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, we kind of said we would love to have balance. Mike carried the ball 30-some times, or 35, 38 times in the first two games. In each of the first two games was not really the plan. It's kind of happened to go with the way it did, and because of the way Mike was running the ball. But we've had a plan to get some of these young guys in the game. And we didn't expect last week Tavion's first carry to be a 3rd and 2 where he gets a first down, or Charles McClellan's first time in the game to be a lead draw on 3rd and 7 to put us in a situation to go for it on 4th down late in the game at UCLA. This was what we expected, and this is what we wanted, to have an opportunity to actually let them run, do what they enjoy to do, and got a good glimpse at what they can do in the running game. You know what, to be honest with you, I've had a lot of confidence in Desmond. I think the entire offensive staff has had a lot, and Coach Denbrock's had a lot of confidence in Desmond. I think the unique thing is Desmond's got a lot of confidence in himself. And I think that's what, you know, that you just never know as a guy starts to his career and starts to kind of blossom a little bit. You see it, but you're just kind of curious until those lights come on, until you have some of those opportunities. You know, I think there was a throw there tonight where I heard on the headset, no, we want to go to the, okay, and he throws a great ball, contested, touchdown catch. You know, I'm not saying it's perfect, but as those guys gain confidence in what it is they do in their arm, and especially gaining confidence in the guys they're throwing the ball to, I think that's where the next step is starting to be taken for us.
Your drums are defeating.
Oh.
Touchdown drum.
Oh, yeah. Well, we've been waiting for it. I don't know, on the road they wouldn't let us probably do it as much, but it did, and that's a great thing. And that's a great thing. And like I said, it didn't have to be like that. You know, the way those guys came out, the way they fired on all cylinders from the get-go and the start, making some plays, that's what the game's all about. And when you have a chance to get that momentum, I had a great feeling going in. I knew we were going to be able to, you know, have a good showing tonight. Not sure it was really going to be like that, but I think the maturity and the ability for those guys to be aggressive still and have confidence in what they're doing, I think showed a lot more tonight. Well, I can assure you it wasn't last year. So, you know, but we'll take it. We'll take any of those situations like that. It's a great opportunity. I think that's the thing about this night. It's a great opportunity. That new rule with the red shirt guys and the ability for some of those guys to get some action, because they bust their butt. They went through camp. They did the 28 days. They did everything we've asked them to do. You know, the Ben Bryants of the world and a bunch of other guys to have an opportunity to go out there and you know, play in front of the crowd, and in a night like this, I think it goes a long way in building the culture and the things that we want to do within our locker room, and keeping those guys engaged. I think that's the key thing. We can't be successful without, you know, what we do every day in practice, and that means some guys happen to be scout team guys, and some guys happen to be the guys that prep us. to be able to perform like this on Saturday.
How much different does James Wiggins allow you to be basically because he's everywhere?
He has a great feel for what it is that we do, and he gives us a lot of versatility. And he's just a young guy, so I think that it's on us as coaches too to continue to make him grow. And sometimes you start to get in those situations where you start to do too much. You start to get a little bit too antsy and over aggressive. That let's make sure we're continuing to do what they do well and what he does well. But you talk about the running backs, you talk about the quarterback. There's some confidence being developed on that defensive side of the ball too. James Wiggins is one of them. That the only thing I would say he lacked even last year was the ability to confidently go out there and not know what he's doing, but why he's doing it as well. And you're seeing that from him. You're starting to see that from some of our young corners. And I think that's where I'm kind of talking about the maturity growing in everything we're doing.
Good. Cool.
Nice.